This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm feeling great about New York.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, I had a wonderful New York night last night.
Oh, boy, what'd you do?
And I know you have some things to talk about that you're itching to talk about. So Tom, I went to a bar on the Lower East Side of Manhattan
Okay.
on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But okay, Tom.
Like a sailor on Fleet Week.
Exactly. And I was just as amped.
Yeah, and you were wearing a sailor suit.
I'm always wearing a sailor suit. Less like a sailor, more like in the style of Donald Duck.
Right, no pants.
Yeah. I was out. Tom, how do you feel about celebrity encounters? Are you're like agnostic, right? You don't care.
What do you mean?
If you see a celeb out on the town, you're not like, oh, cool.
I like to notice it. Like the other day, not the other day, like a few weeks ago, me and Laura were driving somewhere. No, I think it was like around Christmas. I think we were driving to Pennsylvania, and we were driving not too far from here, and we were like stopped at a light, and we like both like made eye contact with this woman who was like had a stroller and was like going into her home, and she was like staring at us. We're staring at her, and then me and Laura were both like, it was Julia Stiles, wasn't it?
Wow.
And it was Julia Stiles.
Julia Stiles has been MIA, I think, right?
Not by me.
I know, yeah.
I know where she lives now.
All
Tim.
right. Well, share the address.
So I'm not one to bother celebrities.
No. I used to be one to bother celebrities.
Yeah. If it's somebody, I mean, I can't remember the last time this happened, but like if it's somebody that maybe I'm like a huge fan of and it's an appropriate time to go up to them, maybe, but like somebody like Julia Stiles, who I think she's great. But I'm not like, I've seen every movie you've been in.
Right.
I mean, I jumped out of the car, but
you probably have seen most of them, right? She's been in 4 movies.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Tim, I'll take you to her house, knock on the door right now, and have her tell you everything she's
Julia
in.
Stiles, of course.
But I'm just saying, like, I won't bother somebody just because they're a celebrity.
Yeah. No, same. I mean, same now in my life. But like one time I was at a bar in college. And, like, I wound up telling Moby that I was his biggest fan. It's like, I'm not Moby's biggest fan. I just know that one song from the car commercial.
Yeah. Was he on a date with Natalie Portman at the time?
Is that a thing? Oh, yeah. There was a whole missed connections thing. Or, like, he claims they dated.
He claimed they dated, and she was like, I know.
Natalie Portman needs to just stop talking to men. It's like a bunch of freaks, really. Right? Didn't that Jonathan Safran Foer leave his wife for her? And she was like, oh, no.
Yeah, because they were emailing back and forth, and like he was like, yep, she's in love with me, just like I'm in love with her.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had a cool celebrity encounter because I was in a bar. Picture this. It's like 10 o'clock, but it's a Wednesday night.
Wow.
It's raining out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a drink. I'm wrapping up.
Yeah.
And I hear a voice, and I recognize the voice. I was like, where do I recognize this voice? I was like, I know who that is. I turn around and look. Sure enough. Michael Stipe. Isn't that isn't that the coolest?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
was he
I
singing?
Like REM.
Is that why you recognize his
voice?
voice?
He was talking about bands, like but like I was very proud of my younger days.
Bands in the place where I work.
Yeah, it was but in my younger days, I would have I would have overstated what an REM. I like REM, but whatever. And also I was
thinking about REM recently because I was listening. I think maybe I've even talked about it on this podcast. It's like one of those bands that they're like firmly a Gen X band.
Right.
We were like a little too young to get like real into them.
Like when we got into them, like that's when their like hardcore fans were like,
Yeah,
they went pop.
Yeah,
Like,
they sign with a
Yeah.
major label.
Yeah.
They're not the same.
I like the jangly sounds of Reckoner or whatever.
Yeah,
and just like,
but like whenever their songs come on, and like I don't know their catalog very well, but I think I know all their singles. Whenever they come on, I'm like, yeah, I gotta listen to more REM.
Well, you should.
Well, if I was there with you last night, I could have gone right to the source. Hey, tell me what should I listen to?
Just be like, hey, can you tell me the names of your albums? I wanna listen to more of them, and I'm not familiar with your catalog.
And
Here.
I'd be respectful. I'd be like, look, I'm writing them down in my phone.
Yeah, you take out your notes app.
I'm
And
I'm saving them in my streaming app right now.
You're just gonna be, like pretending. To,
He's like,
I'll remember these. Green. How hard is it to remember the word green?
Yeah, he looks over at my phone and he's like, that's Angry Birds.
You still playing Angry Birds?
Why are you even still playing that? Everybody stopped playing that 10 years ago. I'm addicted.
So anyway, that made me feel cool. And it's like,
Well, I was going to say, you must have been in a cool bar if Michael
Right?
Stipe was there.
Like,
Yeah.
one of 6 people in a bar that you're in is
Yeah.
Michael Stipe,
Yeah.
including you. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Cool by association.
Yeah.
Because also you figure, like, Michael Stipe's going to go get a drink somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I figure he'll be at a bar that, like, I don't have access to. Like something like, I don't know, like a different dimension or something. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought
I mean, like, he doesn't go to restaurants and bars and like that are accessible by normal humans.
I mean, I imagine, is it a bar that's like been there for a long time?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know anything about this bar.
Okay. I was going to
I
say.
was there,
but-
and now I'm gonna hang out there.
I
all
don't
the
know,
time.
but he's probably just a normal guy. Maybe he was out with a friend or something, and he was like, let's pop in here.
Yeah, no, he was on a job interview.
He
It was
on a-
weird.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it was like he was there with a Starbucks manager, which like,
Oh, well, that's weird that they were doing that at 10 o'clock at night.
yeah,
Let
I guess
alone.
yeah.
I guess, one of these rock stars that blew all of his money, blew all that finding my religion cash.
Finding my religion. He lost it.
Losing my religion.
Oh, you are really not familiar with their catalog.
I know. That's why.
Thank God you were not there with me last night.
Let me tell you, the song Finding My Religion changed my life. Mr. Stripe, I am your biggest fan.
How are you doing this week, Tom?
I'm good. Tim, we're talking about scams this week.
I think it was Michael Stipe. I'm like,
Well,
I
I
was
would
3
say
beers
if
deep.
you recognize the voice
that's why I
first,
think, yeah.
and then saw him,
And then he knew I saw him.
yeah.
And then I was literally leaving, and I wasn't going to bother him.
Right.
But he saw me, like, clock him.
Yeah.
And then I went to the bathroom, and I came out. And when I came out, he was wearing, like, colored sunglasses, which I think he was, like, trying to, like, go incognito. But it's
Yeah.
also like,
it's like, no, I recognize you as the guy from before, just now wearing sunglasses.
also, like, like, color-tinted sunglasses
Yeah,
that
that's-
only rock stars from the
Yeah.
90s wear.
Right.
So it's like, oh, it's either Michael Stipe or Bono.
Right. Or you would think, like, all right, either that's Michael Stipe or that's like some hedge fund manager who's like having a I don't know, 3/4 life crisis right now.
But he has a very recognizable speaking voice, right? And
Oh,
the fact
yeah,
that
yeah. And singing voice.
I heard that and was like,
Yeah.
I mean, it leads me to both. But,
Let me ask you this. When you
90%.
saw him, was he very thin?
He was very thin.
Okay, did he have a bald head?
He had a bald
Yeah,
head.
it
He was a
sounds
white
like-
guy, too.
Sounds like Michael Stipe to me.
Yeah. Like, if he was thin, bald
Was
head, but was a
he-
black guy, I'd be like, probably not Michael
Yeah,
Stipe.
probably not
Michael
him.
Stipe's a white guy, I think.
Was he dancing like Michael Stipe does? Like he would do all those like hand things?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it was him.
Yeah.
Tim, we're talking about scams this week. New York City scams in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Their own breed of scam. I feel like people have asked us. I mean, probably somebody suggested this to us, and it's gone through.
Michael Stipe asked us to do this.
It's gone through, like 5 different note transitions.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if you suggested this, and I'm not giving
Hey,
you credit.
write us, the complete guide to everything at gmail.com.
But I feel
But provide proof that you
Yeah.
suggested this episode topic.
it needs to be notarized.
Mhm.
Tim, Can I tell you about this dream I had last night first?
All right, sure.
No, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you after the. You know what? After the plugs, that'll keep people in the whole
I'm
way.
sure you'll remember.
But what was I talking about? Scams. So New York City has its own particular breed of scam, and I feel like a lot of
starts out like, "Hey Mac,
you got a light." A lot of people always email us asking us to either give them like, "Hey, I'm coming," like do a thing about New York and where people should go. And I feel like we've said multiple times, it's like we're old men now. We don't know where to go.
I know where Michael Stipe hangs out, but I forget the name of that bar.
Yeah,
never be able to find it again.
That was only last night. But and then some people will like email us and be like, "Hey, can you give me like a list of? I'm coming to New York. Can you give me a list of things to do?" It's like, look, there's a lot of resources out there, but we can provide a resource here by warning people about New York City scams.
Yeah.
But the scam I wanted to talk about first off is not a New York specific scam. And like, this might make me sound like, the old lady at the nursing home who claims the nurses are stealing from her.
Right.
But let me ask.
Like, I'm sure they steal so much.
It's got to be so easy.
Why else would you work at a nursing home?
But let me ask you this, Tim. You know those like select-a-size paper towels?
Yeah, uh-huh.
They making those bigger? Are they slowly getting those back up to regular size paper towels?
So you go through them faster?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tom, can I confide in you?
Yeah.
We're not a paper towel household.
Oh, I knew you were going to say this. I knew you were going to be like, we compost our own shit and we use that as paper towels.
Tom, can I tell you something?
What?
I wish we were
a
paper
just
towel.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. Actually, since we had
you have a
since we had the baby,
stash of paper towels.
I did under like in the back of the sink because like sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I get it with a kid that it's like, yeah, you would be going through 5 rolls a day.
Oh no, with a kid now.
Oh, you're back to paper towels. Oh, okay.
Yeah, suddenly.
All of a sudden, it's all right.
It's all right. It's like, we were like, let's do cloth diapers, and we realized how much of it would be like, going through a million of these non-biodegradable, earth-killing things a day isn't the worst thing.
Yeah, they're worse things. There's genocide.
Tom, on diapers, even the disposable diapers.
Yeah.
They're like, here's how you, when the baby poops in the diaper, then bring it to the toilet and dump the poop into the toilet.
Who says that?
It says it like on the package.
That's nuts.
Anybody done that even once?
I mean, and most baby poop is not, like solid. It's not like little turds in there, right?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
It gets smushed and whatnot. I
feel like they had to make a deal with the plumbers union or something.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I mean,
anytime anybody poops, I don't care if
we get a cut.
A week old or 99 years old.
Yeah.
It's going through the pipes, god damn it.
Yeah. Hey, we don't want anybody crossing the picket line here. I will admit though, I feel very, I guess it's like probably a mixture of like guilt because it's, bad for the environment and then like cheapness.
Paper towels?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That like I hate when I accidentally buy full-size paper towels.
Yeah. And also like, you very rarely need.
Exactly. Most of the time I buy the selected size and then I even rip those in half.
Well, that's insane.
Because sometimes it's like most of the time I need a paper towel, I've dribbled something.
On your chin?
No, like on the floor. I was like pouring water and some water, a few drops spilled on the floor.
Tom, just use your sock.
I use my sock most of the time, but if it's like a little more than a sock's worth, but not enough to need like a whole selector sheet. But anyway, I think keep an eye on it, everybody, because look, how are we ever going to know? Is somebody keeping a stash of the old ones and they'll be able to tell us?
That's very it's counterintuitive, but it makes sense, right? Because you're just like, you know, you hear about the grocery store shrink ray, right, where they make the product smaller, but keep the price the same.
Yeah.
But then now I'm thinking like, well, they're making the product bigger. What's the? But you go
No,
through
the
it
roll's
faster.
the same size,
yeah.
but you're going through it faster.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Keep an eye out, everybody.
When I buy, I just buy one big roll.
The nurses are stealing from me. Scam of the week.
Makes sense. I mean, they introduced it to begin with, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think they regret it every single day of their life? Like the brawny man is like, why did I ever think this idea up?
We're selling half the paper towels we used to. I think this was the plan all along.
What?
To like, look, we'll do this.
It'll
but
look
then we'll
good.
slowly, yeah.
That brawny man.
And at the same time, we'll make the regular size paper towels even bigger too.
Oh, wow.
So if somebody compares it, it's still half the size.
half the size.
And we're making people who buy the big ones go through it faster.
Yeah. It's a perfect crime.
Diabolical. Tim, let's talk about some New York City scams, though.
All right. Have you ever been the victim of a New York City scam?
I don't think so. I probably have. I'm probably currently.
Yeah, I mean, I was the
scam.
victim of a scam like a week ago or a couple weeks ago.
What was it?
Some kid wanted money for some college scholarship or something.
Well, if he has a college scholarship, Tim, why is? Do you want you to give him a scholarship?
He needed money for some programming thing or something. He's asking for like $75, and then he had a man with him.
Okay,
he had like a heavy, like a guy. He's like.
Cracking his knuckles behind him.
No, he's just like, oh yeah, he's part of this program for like young coders from economically distressed, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, like I'm not gonna give you $75.
Yeah.
I was like literally walking down the street. I was walking home from daycare. I'm not in daycare. My son's.
You didn't have to clarify that, but
then I wound up giving him like I think $15.
Wow. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's more than I'd ever give to anybody who approaches me on the street. And mostly it was because like I was like, I don't think this is legit. But also
that's more than I've ever given a homeless person that would make their day and like help them.
And the thing was like, there's still a kid there.
Yeah.
And like if this is all a sham, that kid is probably still like not in a good place, right? Like if this is a bad situation where like that guy's gonna get mad if this kid's not closing deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean that kid's not getting any of that money.
No, but like if it saves him from being in the doghouse.
Yeah, but maybe now he's like, you're good at this, kid. All right. Yeah. We're going to bump you up to the next level of scam.
Well, I just like to think that kid's coding right now.
Yeah, probably.
He's going to be working on that next social media algorithm that enchants the world.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a very common one. Just the general, like, instead of panhandling, saying, I lost my wallet. I need a bus to go home. I need
specificity of like I just need $14 to get the Greyhound or whatever. Like I have this much. This is all I need.
Right.
It's really
and it is, it's tough because you think about like, man, if I were in that situation, if I got mugged and my wallet and phone got stolen.
You see these people?
Well,
they'll buy a phone case that's like, it's also your wallet. What are you, nuts?
I have one of those.
What, really?
Well, I have like the detachable one.
So it's just one thing? It's like if I lose this one thing, I'm completely fucked?
No, I would take the wallet off before they stole my phone.
Oh, okay. You're like, wait.
No, but I think it's probably less likely that you're going to lose it because now you have, fewer things to keep track of.
Yeah, guess what? 2 pockets, 2 things.
Well, I've had your keys.
I don't need keys.
But yeah, when somebody's
punch my way through all doors.
When you put yourself in that situation of like, yeah, what if I had come here? What if I was from Philadelphia and I had taken the train here today and then I got mugged, and now how am I going to get back?
Right.
I don't have anything with me. And even like, yeah, because now I'm thinking about that where I'm like, I could like maybe call and have them like wire the money to a Western Union. And now I'm thinking, I don't know anyone's phone number. Yeah, Western Union.
What year is this?
They exist. I'm not talking about a telegram, Tim. I'm talking about getting some money wired.
Yeah, through like Morse code.
No, that's what
most of what Western Union does though is receives messages in Morse code and decodes them for you, right?
But you can also get money wired there.
Yeah.
And you can also wire
You're
money.
psycho.
You can use it to wire money to somebody who's blackmailing you. I think that's one of the other top uses.
That's got to be like
Western Union.
80% of their business.
Yeah, because I don't know what you need to receive money at a Western Union.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I assume you need ID, but yeah, what if I got mugged and I don't have an ID? I don't know.
Two people who've never used Western Union speculating on how Western Union works, and it's probably a lot simpler than
I think I used it once or twice, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying. I think I've used it like before, maybe like PayPal was a thing. I used it to like pay for something online, like to get shipped to me. Something like that. Anyway.
One time on eBay, the first thing I bought on eBay was this tiny little poster thing for the movie Dirty Work. And I got it. I was so happy. Came in the mail. And my mom thought it was trash and just threw it out. She's like, because it was so tiny. Yeah. I spent like $8.
Oh, she thought it was just like a flyer you picked up. Yeah. That's why you got to frame those things quick before your mom throws it out.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, so along those lines, let's talk about the seedy scam.
Right. Does the seedy scam still get?
Yes. When I was in Times Square
when we went to Bubba Gump.
Yeah, just a month ago, I saw the seedy scam happening in Times Square.
Wow. In real time.
So anybody that's not familiar with this, which is crazy because you would think this doesn't work anymore, but I guess it doesn't really matter if you have a CD player or not, is somebody will hand you a CD, their CD, their mixtape or whatever. They'll hand it to you. You're a yokel from out of town. You think, everybody's wrong about these New Yorkers. Look at this feller. He's so nice. He's giving me a free CD.
Right.
It is not free. They will say, once you take it, then they go, that's $15 or whatever. I was reading that another part of this is now once you have it, they'll quickly sign it and then say it's like $50. And if you go, no, I don't want, no, they go, well, I already signed it. Now I can't sell it, which is insane. That doesn't make any sense. But that's how they'll try and get money out of you. And I remember like as a teenager going into the city and like never falling for this scam. But I think because it was like not knowing not to take it from somebody. But then when somebody did, it was just like, oh, even if I wanted to, I don't have $15.
Yeah. It's an intimidation move too, where it's just kind of like they won't take it back, and then it's just kind of like the implication there is like if you keep pressing this, it's probably just easiest to give them the $15,
right? Yeah, and then you get a CD,
right?
I think that's.
I'm sure it's really good music.
I'm sure they're blank CDs that don't even have anything on them.
Do you own a CD player, Tom? In your car?
Yes. Yeah, my car has one. I don't know if it works. I don't think I've ever used
it. I'm itching to break out my CDs. I'm in the market for a new car, Tom.
Oh, yeah?
And CD player is a deal breaker, which is a very stupid deal breaker.
Right. Yeah. I always mean to, because I actually still have like a external CD player, like a computer one, like a CD burner, like a USB CD burner. And I always mean to because my car can play MP3 CDs.
Hell yeah.
To just like burn a disc with like 500 songs on it or
just use your phone that has infinite
I know,
songs.
but like sometimes
If your phone gets stolen and you're driving to the Western Union.
Yeah. No, sometimes like I'm driving somewhere where there's no service or whatever, and I don't have anything downloaded on my phone. I mean,
the only
that's
place
happened,
you drive to Julia Stiles' house and just park.
That's where I've been the last 2 weeks.
She calls the cops.
Yeah, just waiting for her to come back outside. But yeah, so that's the seedy scam.
I'm waiting for her to star in Drumline 2. Was she in Drumline, the movie? Probably not.
I don't know if she was
Swim Fan? Was she Swim Fan?
I don't know.
Am I thinking of the right lady?
She was in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it doesn't sound like you do, because that wasn't the first. You named 2 movies you're not sure she's in.
Yeah, well, Swim Fan.
Was she the swim fan or the swimmer?
No, this is. Oh, it was the young replacement Julia Stiles, Erica Christensen. Do you remember this girl? Hold on.
The young replacement.
Yeah, at one point in the mid 2000s or the early 2000s,
they tried to introduce a new Julia Stiles.
Yeah, they came out with a girl that looked like Julia Stiles, but 5 years younger.
Yeah,
and then she became the Swim Fan.
All right, here's another very common New York City scam, Tim.
Hold on.
Well, I'm not watching the trailer.
Forget it.
The fake taxi from the airport scam.
Oh yeah, that stinks. Have you ever fallen for that? I've almost fallen for that.
No, I think I'm like pretty. Whenever I get to an airport, wherever I am, I'm disoriented, and I like need a minute to get my bearings. So this scam is, and this is not unique to New York. Unique New York. Unique.
You were doing that vocal warm up.
We do that vocal warm up for 15 minutes before every episode. That's how we talk so smoothly. Talk so good. Somebody comes up to you as you're like leaving the baggage claim or whatever and says, "Hey, you need a taxi? You need a taxi?" And you go, "Oh, yeah, I do need a taxi." "Oh, what service?" They come right inside. Mm-hmm. "Okay, come with me." "Yeah, I'm a taxi. I'll drive you to where you need to go."
First of all, if you think a man is a taxi, you got bigger problems.
Hop on my back. He takes you to a car and drives you somewhere. And then you get there and he goes, "All right, yeah, that's $300. And you know, like you were saying, the intimidation thing of like, what do you mean you're not going to pay? Right. And, you know, they might intimidate you with like, "I'll beat the shit out of you if you don't pay," or "I'll call the cops if you don't pay." Mm-hmm. You know,
are you saying they drive you to your destination, or they drive you somewhere?
No, they drive you to your destination.
Okay, it sounded like they would
overcharge you.
Yeah, no, it sounded like you were like, they'll drive you somewhere. Mm-hmm. Like they'll drive you to the warehouse district, and then be like, "Now get out and give me $300."
Yeah, I mean,
otherwise, like nobody will hear you scream.
Yeah, I'm sure that kind of thing happens too.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I think one time we were like taking an Uber. This is like when Uber was new, and the guy came and we were like, "This isn't the same car it has on here." He's like, "Yeah, sometimes we have different cars." And we were both just like, "All right," down in his car. And the car had like obviously recently been in an accident, like very recently, like perhaps even that night.
Yeah.
But we wound up all right. I mean, and that it was more of a like, I don't see how you can scam me unless you're planning on just murdering me somewhere.
Yeah, just robbing us.
Or just robbing us because like I've already paid through the phone. Yeah.
Joke's on you. I never have any money on me.
Yeah, I mean, I never have any cash. But I mean, we have, you know, like the $1,000 computers in our pockets that they can steal.
Yeah, I mean, people don't want that anymore either because you can't really steal phones, right?
Yeah, they're hard to flip because like they're all locked.
We used to go do shows. I can't believe we did this in Scotland.
Yeah.
And then we'd sell merch and they'd pay us for all the tickets. Yeah. And we'd have like,
the venue would pay us that night.
Yeah, like, you know, we're not making a ton of money at these shows, but
it's a lot of cash. It's way more cash than either of us carry around.
And then we go across the street and to a bar in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
and a lot of people from the show are there. It's usually like a Sunday night too, because it's usually between.
Yeah.
Or like it's just like some night. So like, it's fans of ours who want to talk to us or like want to like hang out.
Yeah.
And then locals at this bar who hate us, who don't want.
Yeah, who are weirded out why there's a bunch of people all of a sudden.
Don't want any hubbub. It's always like, midnight or whatever. And we just get.
And they're like, oh, great. 2 loud Americans have brought, 30 people into this bar.
And
with
now
them.
they're all taking pictures with you,
Yeah.
and we get completely hammered.
Uh-huh.
And we just have the thousands of dollars. Not thousands of dollars, but hundreds of dollars.
hundreds
I mean,
of
probably
dollars.
over $1,000 sometimes, right?
Yeah.
What were we thinking? How did
and
we
every
not
time
get
I'm
murdered?
buying a beer, I'm taking all that money out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're not familiar with
Yeah,
what the notes are. It'd be like, there's a 5 on this
like,
one.
oh,
There's-
can I give you the? Oh no, that's
Oh, it's
100 pounds.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Stupid. But hey, it's gotten us this far. Tim, let's talk more scams.
Scamcast.
Here's another one. This one's kind of crazy. I don't think it's a thing anymore, at least the specific one, is that apparently there was like a scam at the Empire State Building where they would make it seem like they were selling tickets to go to the top of the Empire State Building. But what they were actually doing was selling tickets to go watch an old movie inside the Empire State Building. And the thing I don't get, and they would have people like aggressively outside selling tickets and like making it sound like, yeah, you get to see this movie and then you get to go to the top. And I don't understand why the Empire State Building people were renting out a space to these people when obviously it was causing huge problems. Like when I went on this business's Yelp and they had 1.5 stars, like the actual Empire State Building tour must not have been happy with people selling more expensive scam tickets.
The Empire State Building, Tom, is lawless. That's what you don't understand about it. It's too big. It's too tall. They can't police it.
Yeah, that's true. By the time they get to the floor where some scam's happening,
the guys on the roof have to get all the way down to be like, hey, and then they're gone. There's
they're gone.
nothing.
They're already in Midtown.
Exactly. Or, they took you to floor 14 to watch this film. I'm going to go down to 14. Guess what? They've already moved up to floor 23.
Yeah. They've had
It's a
time
cat
to
and mouse game.
move all the stuff around. And apparently there's a similar scam, or at least there was, maybe it's current, by where you get the ferry to go to the Statue of Liberty. Where they are selling a more, I think, equally, if not more expensive ferry that sounds like it is taking you to the Statue of Liberty, but it's taking you around the Statue of Liberty.
And then to hell.
And then,
It sinks most of the time.
I think they just bring you back to the dock.
No, sometimes it sinks all the way down to hell from what I understand.
Then how do they keep the scam going?
What do you mean?
If they've sunk all the way down to hell, the boat.
New boats.
New boat, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even a bad boat's expensive.
Yeah, I know. They know this too. That's why they got to scam for all this money.
That's why it costs $10,000 per ticket.
Tom, do you believe that this is a scam?
Mm-hmm.
I think this might just be made up. Like, ooh, wouldn't it be fun?
Well, scams are made up.
No. The Staten Island ferry scam. The Staten Island ferry, famously free.
Oh, right. Yeah, because who would pay to go to Staten Island?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, just because, they'd all be upset if you made them pay for public transportation. We deserve this.
Yeah.
Staten Island. We hate them, right?
It's fine.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. Surprisingly suburban whenever I've been there.
Yeah, it's extremely suburban.
Yeah.
But free ferry, and it's a beautiful ferry.
Yeah. And it's a nice ride. Like, it's a scenic ride.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I said.
No, you said it's a nice ferry.
No, I said it's a beautiful ferry ride. It's
Oh,
ferry. It's a nice ferry. And a nice ferry ride. but it's free.
Hey,
Famously
let's give it
free.
up for the Staten Island Ferry.
So like they're like, oh, people are out there scammers selling tickets for the Staten Island Ferry.
Oh.
Do you think that really happens? I don't think that really happens.
I don't think that really
Why
happens.
else would you go on the Staten Island Ferry if
Yeah, I think
it wasn't free?
I think the only reason a tourist would go on that is because they've heard the like, hey, here's an insider secret.
Yeah.
Like, want to get a good view of the Statue of Liberty? Like, just take this ferry.
Yeah. You can drink a beer out there. They were gonna build our version of the London Eye.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be called the London Eye.
Yeah,
It'd be
it'd
called the
New York
London Nose.
Oh, I see.
They were gonna build the New York Eye or whatever, right where the. I don't know if that's still happening.
They built one of those at that crazy mall I went to in New Jersey.
Tom, can I tell you something?
What?
Ferris wheels, enough. They're too scary.
Enough. You're saying it like, yeah. I've had enough with this craze.
Yeah,
For you,
I have.
Victorian gentleman.
Well, they're building new ones. It's a craze.
With all these,
they're back apparently.
with all these Ferris wheels, you're going to cause hysteria amongst the women.
No, Tom, do you ever feel comfortable on a Ferris wheel? No, you're afraid you're going to get stuck up there.
Nah, I don't. I'm fine with being on a Ferris wheel.
Really?
Yeah.
But what if you get stuck?
Did you go on the London Eye ever?
Hell no.
Oh, yeah, it's
You know
fun.
what I was thinking?
What?
What if I get stuck up there?
It's nice. It's like a room.
Ah, nicer than my hotel room.
It's nicer than your hotel room for sure. It doesn't feel like you're on a carnival Ferris wheel.
Okay.
And I'm all for getting rid of carnival Ferris wheels. Those scare me.
I'm all for
Those I
getting rid of
wouldn't trust.
carnivals, to be honest.
Well, come on.
They got rid of the circus, Tom, and nobody cared.
I cared. I'd like to go to the circus. I don't.
They're gonna bring them back, but without the animals.
Yeah, that's fine.
Clowns. I want to see the tightrope work. But you want to see those
see
motorcycle
acrobats.
guys?
Yeah.
What if one of them dies and you get to watch?
Then cool.
They're like, oh, death defying. Well, what if they don't defy
this
death
time
that
you
one?
didn't defy death. Yeah, then you get to say, yeah, I went to the circus, saw a man die.
Do you think
Saw his soul leave his body.
Remember when Roy from Siegfried and Roy got mauled by a tiger?
Mhm.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Do you think there were people in the audience that were like that changed their lives? Like they were they had trauma from it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm
yeah,
sure.
that would suck,
I
right?
thought you
Imagine
were
buying
gonna
a
say-
ticket to a night of entertainment and it ruins your whole life.
Well, and especially when probably there were people that were like, I don't know, it seems dangerous. And they're like, you know how many times Siegfried and Roy have done this
You know
show?
how many times Roy put his head in that tiger's mouth?
I thought you were going to say, do you think there were people that went to that show that afterwards were like, sick, we got to go to the show where Roy got bit.
I mean, there's also, it's Vegas
Yeah.
after all. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure like half that audience left thinking that was part of the show.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, Empire State Building and Statue of Liberty scam. I would say in general in New York, like be careful where you're buying tickets for anything.
Yeah.
You know? Really scope things out. If somebody like comes up to you offering to sell you a ticket, same thing. This I saw listed as a scam in a few places, and I would maybe a little bit beg to differ that like comedy club ticket salespeople will come up to you and they'll be like, hey, comedy show, hey, come have some chuckles. Like Chris Rock's gonna be there tonight. And like Chris Rock's probably not going to be there tonight.
Probably, Tom.
What?
Probably not going to be
I don't
there.
know. Sometimes he drops in. You know, I mean, I think a lot of times they aren't lying. They'll name people who have dropped in there, but some of those people probably haven't dropped in a decade.
Yeah. Chris
but-
Rock dropped in 1987.
He was there for an open mic
micer,
night.
yeah.
But I think that's not really a scam. You're still buying a ticket to a comedy show and going to a comedy show.
But when they say Chris Rock will be there.
Well, that I think you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Like if Chris Rock is going to be there, why do they have people pushing tickets in Times Square? Why don't they sell tickets for $100 on Ticketmaster?
Right. Well, because the servers got overloaded. That would be, if I was the scammer,
yeah.
I'd be like, oh, yeah, no, they were gonna.
Yeah.
And then the servers got
Yeah,
overloaded
you heard
because of
about
Taylor
that.
Swift.
Yeah.
And now, like, Now
It's an
the night of
emergency.
the show.
And he's in the dressing room. He won't come out because nobody's here. He's crying his eyes out.
Yeah. And guess what? This man's been through a lot lately. You want to disappoint him yet again?
I'm not supposed to say, but Will Smith's going to be there tonight. He doesn't know it. They would give me, I'd be like, all right, I'll take 2.
I mean, just in case. Like, I'd be like,
On the
there
off
is
chance
a
he's telling the truth.
0.0000001% chance it's true. But I can't miss it.
But yeah.
I got to be sure. I got to cover my bases here.
The idea of being in the audience at a small comedy club, Chris Rock drops in, and unbeknownst to him, Will Smith is there to slap him again in front of an even smaller, more intimate audience.
I kind of like it if Will Smith is there to be the bigger man and make amends, but his temper just gets away from him.
It's a trick. Or they make amends, but then Chris Rock's got some little quip on his way away. He says, like, oh, are they filming G.I. Jane 3? He's like, oh, you know how that gets under my skin. But a friend of the show, Paul McKenna, did that. Again, I hesitate to call it a scam, but sold tickets.
I thought you were going to say, I hesitate to call him a friend. He's very offensive. He's a very good friend.
No, he's a good friend. But he did that. He sold tickets in Times Square.
But, like, I don't understand why he did it. Because mostly that is a scam to, like, if you sell enough tickets, you get to perform in the show. So it's aspiring comedians.
Yeah, that's how they get them. That they're like, they'll tell a comedian, like, yeah, we got a spot for you tonight. And then you show up and they're like, oh, only if you go to Times Square and sell 20 tickets.
Right. But Paul was not an aspiring comedian.
No, I guess
they
paid him.
I think he just liked
the
hustle and bustle of Times Square. Yeah,
I think you just like being involved in a scam. You like being scam adjacent.
Paul, and he didn't even know. Like, he's got a great nose for sussing out scams. And being the victim of them, and never even knowing that he was
sussing
scammed.
them out. And being yeah, that's true. He's good at. He thinks he's good at
he's a rube. He gets scammed.
No,
is
but
what we're
he's a
saying.
unique type of rube because he's good at identifying a scam, but then I think he just always thinks I'm gonna scam the scam artist. And if there's one thing that's hard to do, it's scamming a scam artist.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he was going to be a professional model?
Yeah, I thought that was going to work out for him.
This is another New York City scam.
Yeah.
Again, I think it was probably all over, but this happened in New York City.
Well, because New York City, all of us came to this city aspirations of being a professional model. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure this scam is ripe in like L.A.
Yeah, I think it's also ripe in Paris.
Yeah,
I almost
especially
got
during
scammed in Paris.
Fashion Week. What was that?
I almost got scammed.
I almost got scammed in Paris too.
Really?
Yeah, those French are scoundrels.
This was after we did shows. I was
for a second. I was like,
way.
we didn't do shows.
We
in
did
France.
shows in London, and then I.
Tim, you got scammed by somebody pretending to be me that you did shows.
It was
with.
a great show. It's very well received.
You were like, honestly, I was shocked at how fluent you were in French.
We got there. We got off the train. We went through the channel, and some guy was like, "Oh, I'll bring you through the subway. Oh, where are you going?" And I was like,
"Oh," and then was he like, "Oh, there's a wall here," and he was like, "Oh, we're blocked," and he was putting his hands up.
It wasn't a mime. I understand. He was dressed like a mime because, let's face it,
it's
everyone's
like, here,
dressed
I'll
like a mime.
throw you a rope.
Yeah, but like. It got to the point where like we were following him, and he was like, "Okay, take out your cash. What would you?" And I was like, "All right." And my wife was like,
"You're a
what
mile
are you
deep
doing?
in the catacombs."
Yeah, like, what are you doing? We're getting away from him. And I was like, "Man, we almost got scammed. I've lived in New York City for over 20 years, and."
I mean, I told you, I said on the show, like we sat down at a restaurant where it was like, these prices are different. Coke is $10. And I was like, we're leaving. And we just got up and left.
And you were like, but I really want a Coke.
I mean, it was like that type of thing where we were walking for a while, and it was like all these places looked like tourist traps, and this was like the first place that didn't look. It looked a little. It looked a lot like a tourist trap, but like, I don't know, a little bit nicer. Like, oh, it looks like they have decent food at least. Like, we'll pay a little bit more, whatever. But then it was like, oh no, this is a scam, an out and out scam. But Paul McKenna's the scam he I wouldn't say he fell for that he got involved with because they got nothing out of him.
No.
He answered,
But he didn't scam the scammer.
No. He wasted their time. I mean, not as much as they wasted his, but he responded to an ad in, I think, Craigslist. It was like an open call for models for J. Crew. Now, Paul, to my knowledge, had never aspired to be a model.
No. But I think he's got the chops for it.
Well, he's got the persistence.
What color is his hair, do you think?
So
it's not quite brown.
Yeah,
but it's not blonde.
It's not blonde. Yeah, so he could go either way. That's
that's a
fashion
plus,
director's dream. So he went to this open casting call, and again, a big brand like J. Crew, they don't have to do open casting calls.
No, there are agencies that they can go to.
They don't have to.
You pick the perfect person to model their clothes.
You know, J. Crew didn't come out of his office one day and go, "We need new models. Post an ad on Craigslist." But anyway, he went to this place. It was like some warehouse, and he got upstairs, and they were like, "All right, now we just need."
There was an office building in the financial district.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So they were like, "We just need your headshots."
And everything going on in the offices in the financial district is on the up and up. So I can see why he thought like,
exactly.
oh yeah.
How else would they be here? They were like. And I think it was maybe even targeted towards like no experience necessary. So when he got there, they were like,
"Ugly people preferred. It's okay.
It's okay.
You're gross."
We're not looking. J. Crew is not looking for traditionally attractive people. So he got there, and they were like, "Well, you need headshots, but you're in luck today only." We've got a guy just next door doing headshots for only $450. And now Paul was smart enough to sniff this out and know, oh, this is a scam. What he was not able to sniff out was he went home and shot his own headshot.
Yeah, he didn't know exactly what the scam was. He thought they were. He missed the forest for the trees, I think. He's like, oh, they're trying to get $450 out of me, and then the J. Crew opportunity will be open to me.
Right.
But I don't need to pay that $450. I'll skip to the next step, which is the legitimate J. Crew opportunity.
Yeah, I know how I'll get around this. I'll just go home and take some headshots.
And come back.
And come back with my headshots that I printed out of my own printer. And the headshots he took were just like, in fairness, they were like well lit for, having a desk lamp, but they were just pictures of him sitting at his desk. Like they weren't headshots.
Was he wearing J. Crew? That probably gives him a leg up.
I don't know if he was. I mean, I think he put on like a nice shirt or a sweater or something. Like it was it was a nice photo of Paul. But it was not a professional headshot. Yeah. And he went back there and there was just like tumbleweeds in the office.
Yeah. Tom, I could never be a J. Crew model. You want to know why?
Why is that?
J. Crew, especially for some reason, specifically, the medium's too big, the small's too small.
Oh, I don't think maybe I have like one or two J. Crew things, so I haven't noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I'm just.
That's the thing about brands. Sometimes
to their
you find a brand and you know what your size is for them, and it's like, and it fits you well, and you just stick with that brand.
Yeah.
So I buy a lot of Uniqlo. That's like my go-to.
I buy a lot of unicorn clothes. Just clothes with unicorns.
Just because I know like my size in Uniqlo, and I know how it's gonna fit.
Did you find that Uniqlo over the last 5 to 6 years, I'd say, has become like the sizes all across the board got bigger?
Yeah, because I think they adapted to like American sizes.
Which that's when I was like, oh, now I have a J. Crew problem there. Medium's too big, small's too small.
Yeah, I went from an extra large to a large in Uniqlo.
Huh.
but it still like fits me well. So that's what I go.
Everlane. That's where I'm at.
This
Tom,
is,
and this is a
I'm
paid,
wearing
this
all
is a paid
Uniqlo right
endorsement.
now.
I'm wearing all Everlane right now.
These are not paid endorsements. Anyway, so that's the J. Crew model scam, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the famous New York City J. Crew model scam.
So if you're going to an open casting call for J. Crew, bring your own headshots.
Here's one. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
any of you freaking hayseeds gonna come to our city and walk very slowly on the sidewalks?
Well, that's just a pet peeve.
What? No. But this is for you. This is something that might actually happen to you.
Okay.
And I'm just kidding around. I think tourists are the
Hey,
lifeblood.
lighten up.
Yeah. The broken glasses.
Oh yeah, well, not glasses.
Yeah.
Glass.
No.
Oh, glasses.
I mean, Tom, who's
I'm-
who's zooming who
I know
here?
about the. What'd you say?
Who's zooming who?
What does that mean?
That's a famous phrase that
That's
everybody
not
uses.
a famous phrase. I'm thinking of the broken bottle scam.
What's that?
The broken bottle scam is somebody's got a bottle in a paper bag and they bump into you and drop the bottle and they go like, "Oh my God, my vintage wine I just bought. You knocked it out of my hands. You know how much that cost? You got to pay me. You better pay
Yeah.
me right now." And they'll do it with phones nowadays, and it'll be like
Yeah.
a phone that's already smashed. And they'll, bump into you and drop it and then be like, "You broke my phone."
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
this is completely different. The glasses scam is they'll bump into you and make you feel like it's your fault.
Uh-huh.
They'll
And then
drop
they'll-
their glasses and the glasses will break.
Oh.
And they'll say-
That's the same
No, you were
scam.
talking about a bottle. I'm talking about glasses.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no. I think with glasses, it's meant to be like, hey,
And
like
now
it's
you're
less
gonna feel
intimidating.
bad.
Yeah, it's more of like oh man, I can barely see without my glasses.
Yeah.
I
I'm
just got
gonna
freaking laid off yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I don't have like.
And now
God.
walking home, I'm going to wind up Mr. Magooing myself into a construction site and walk
Yeah.
off an I-beam.
Yeah.
Thanks
And
to
luckily
you.
everything will be fine because there'll be a crane with another I-beam
just
there.
happens.
I'll be none the wiser.
Right. But it's going to take me forever to get home that way.
But I think it's more of playing on the sympathies. I think there is a little bit, like sometimes there's a little bit of like, don't fucking worry about. I don't know what
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. Don't worry about it. Whatever. And like
Uh-huh.
it turns you into the no. I insist. Like let me give you like
Right. Mm.
uh.
Instead of intimidating you, making
Yeah.
you
And
feel
I think
guilty.
that's I think what we've learned from Sawyer from Lost. When you're
Mm-hmm.
scamming people, you don't want like. Look, you can go the intimidation route,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, you're gonna live and die. And this is advice for scammers.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna live and die by like your willingness to actually deliver on like, hey,
Yeah.
like the implication here is I'm gonna kick your ass or murder you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can do that,
Yeah.
or your intimidation, right?
Mhm.
With Sawyer,
And they're
like,
never
you-
going to do it because, like, that doesn't achieve their ends.
exactly. Or maybe it will. I don't know. People get murdered and beat up
I
all
mean,
the time.
I have-
literally all the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't get them.
Don't you read the New York Post, Tom?
I read it every day.
And they won't let the cops arrest them.
No, yeah.
It's illegal. They arrest
so-
the cops
yeah,
if the cops
some-
try to arrest somebody who assaults.
Sometimes it's the mayor, sometimes it's the governor, but direct orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved. I can't think of the specifics now, but I've like had these like scam type things happen where I think sometimes like people do, I think, get themselves so into scamming and do it so much that like they are like almost method acting.
Right.
That it's like, no, I am really pissed off.
Yeah.
Because you're not giving me the money that I think I'm deserved. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I've been into where it is kind of a little bit scary because it's like, no, I think this guy believes his own scam.
Yeah. Well, you gotta
If
gotta
you're gonna make
commit
it
to the
anywhere.
scam. But I think there is a brand of scam where, you make it seem like their idea.
Right?
You make the rube, the pigeon,
Mm-hmm.
the mark. Feel
Yeah.
like, hey, I got an idea. I know how to make this good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah. That's a more advanced scam though, I think.
Yeah.
I think your normal like street NYC scammer, they're that's too long of a play. They just go straight for the intimidation. It's a numbers game. I mean,
Maybe.
that's a good scam if you're trying to get like a big score.
No, I mean like $50 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a
Yeah.
decent sized score.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like a CD scam for like, $15 or whatever.
Yeah.
Other scams that I wanted to talk about.
Ham sandwich scam.
What's ham sandwich scam?
Sell somebody a ham sandwich,
Yeah.
but it stinks.
Oh, there's no ham in there, or just like the ham's
It
old.
just doesn't taste good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you got their money, and you skimped out on all the ingredients.
Along those lines, there's been for I don't know how long, 20 years now, these stupid Weed World buses
Oh yeah,
that claim that they're selling like weed lollipops and weed edibles, and that it's not true. And I think like maybe 5 years ago they started selling maybe like CBD ones, but saying like, nah, it's weed. But then maybe being able to fall back on like, well, it is CBD. But now that weed is legal in New York, but there's only one place you can buy it in the whole state, I think, that you can buy it legally, but about 1,000 places you can buy it illegally. I think these guys are like cleaning up because people come to, because like, we've both been to like cities where like we'll see dispensaries or something. It's like, oh, weed's legal here. Like it's very confusing in America. Because every city, every county is different. So it totally makes sense that you're a tourist, you come to New York and you're like, oh yeah, I heard we got legalized like, I don't know, like 2 years ago now. So surely this is a legal operation. And if it wasn't, they would shut them down.
yeah. Don't shut anything down.
But yeah, don't buy weed from just some random.
Buy weed from a dealer that you know.
Go
Someone
to
that
the-
you went to high school
Go
with.
to the park to buy weed. Don't buy it from some big colorful van. And now I was reading about this one. This one sounded amazing. Fitness challenge scam.
What's that?
And again, this is one of those like, look, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Where
You're so upset about these scams, man.
Well, I get upset
you're
when
so
people fall for
disappointed
them.
in the people who like. I don't know that any of these scams ever actually got pulled on anybody.
all these have.
Tom, you don't know that.
Of course. Why do you think people are out there doing them if they don't work?
No. I'm like the Staten Island or the balloon scam.
What balloon scam?
Yeah, you hand somebody a bunch of balloons and they fly away.
How would somebody profit from that?
You laugh.
The Staten Island, you brought up the Staten Island scam. You're telling me about scams and then telling me, oh, I don't know if they work or not. All the scams I've explained today are real scams that are out
that
there.
you read on one single website.
No, and a lot of them I've seen, the
Yeah,
CD scam
yeah.
and stuff.
You keep coming back to the CD scam.
And I've been approached by taxi drivers that are not legit taxi
Yeah, that's
drivers.
true.
I mean,
I saw a kid fall prey to the balloon scam.
that's hard. Was it Balloon Boy?
But now that I think of it, it was the Heaney family. Is that what the name of it?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. No, I mean, the thing is, a lot of these scams, it's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That is a pretty good scam. If especially in somewhere like New York City, somewhere like Times Square, a touristy place, where it's like, yeah, you can try that scam like 1,000 times an hour. Even if it only hits 1%, you're making out. But this one was that, and again, I think
You're
this
so
is,
worked up about scams.
people want to believe what they want to believe. That it's like a fitness scam, And these places will post on Facebook or wherever, like, we're doing a free 6-week fitness challenge. And then when you get there, you find out, yes, it's free. However, you need some skin in the game. So we're going to make you give us like a $600 deposit. And then the challenge that they give you is like impossible to reach. That's like, and in 6 weeks, you're going to be at, you're going to gain 40 pounds of muscle,
right.
or you're going to be at 6% body fat, or you're going to lose 20
Is that
pounds.
good? 6% body fat?
Yeah, that's
what
good.
What percent body fat am I eating?
I think like 5 or 6 is as low as you can get.
So I'm probably at like 6.5, 7.
Without dying. No, like 6% is like, it looks like paper on you, and you can see like all your veins and your heart beating and your brain throbbing.
Cool.
But they set up the
Who falls
challenge.
for this scam?
I think people that think like, oh, it's just a company trying to drum up business, and then once they get there, you know, it's like the sunk costs. Like, well, I'm already here, and if they're doing this, they must know the secret to get those results for me. So like, okay, and then they take your money.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds as bad as the wedding ring scam.
What's that?
It's a wedding ring, but turns your finger green.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I mean, that's like an all-over scam. Don't buy jewelry or anything from somebody in like a parking lot.
We learned that from Zach Morris and the gang.
Oh, right. I forgot that happened to him. Yeah, I mean, that's like a general, I mean, that happens all the time, that people are sold stuff. And like, especially the implication is like it's stolen.
Yeah.
So then it's like, well, now I don't even feel bad for the person that got scammed because they were thinking they were buying stolen goods, but instead they got scammed. Okay. So that person got screwed instead of somebody got their things stolen.
Yeah. One time, I was walking down Callier Street, Tom, when we lived on Callier Street in Greenpoint, and a van pulled up. It was like a Saturday morning or something. And they were like, hey,
get in.
We got the and they were like, we got these speakers. We were supposed to deliver them somewhere. The speaker scam. And I was like, they were like,
you look like a guy that likes music, hangs out at cool bars that Michael Stipe might be at.
And they had my number. They had my number better than I could have known at the time. I was like, maybe I've been in the same bars, but certainly not like one of 6 people.
Yeah.
But so they were like, oh, yeah, we need to get these out of the van. We have another delivery to make. Well, it's going to be real cheap. And I went like, oh, like I was thinking about falling for this scam. Like part of me was like, it might be a scam, but like, let's see where this goes. Maybe it isn't too good to be true. You know, it's like,
maybe they can't just bring these speakers back to the warehouse.
And I was like, what brand is it? And the guy went, oh, I'll see you later. And they drove away. It was 2 guys. And it was like the slightest bit of scrutiny.
They couldn't think of a brand real.
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah.
Stupid. Growing up, I don't know why my dad always told me this story, because it was like a bad lesson to learn. But he always told me a story about how he was a kid and a van pulled up to him and his friends once, and they were like, hey, you kids like comic books? And my dad was like, no, and ran away. And his friend was like, yeah. And the guy opened the van and gave him like 2 boxes full of comic books. And we're like, all right, see you later. And drove off.
And the lesson learned, son.
Yeah. Always trust a stranger in a van offering you something for free. Candy, comic books, whatever.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgte.com. That has links to our Reddit, subreddit.
Yeah.
Our Discord.
Yeah. All our social media. There's really not, we always say go to tcgte.com for more information. There's not much information there.
No.
There's just links to other things.
Yeah.
But hey, still worth a visit.
Yeah. You can follow Tom on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
And you can follow Tim at Your Pal Tim. check out our Patreon, patreon.com/complete guy, where we're neck deep in Atomic Habits. That's the book we're reading. We're learning all new habits.
Yeah, and I think it's going well.
Yeah.
We're taking it seriously. For once in our goddamn lives, we're taking it seriously.
Yeah.
So come with us on this journey. You also get a back catalog of a ton
get all the
of
old
books of the
stuff.
podcast. And if we reach 1,000 subscribers before the time we finish Atomic Habits, we're going to detonate an actual atomic bomb.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like maybe Christopher Nolan did that for this Oppenheimer movie.
I heard that it wasn't a real atomic bomb.
I mean, it couldn't have been, but that seems like the implication that they want you to think.
Yeah. I'm all for practical effects. I'm not for nuclear weapons, though.
Not for, detonating a nuclear weapon for a movie.
Yeah. But I don't know if it'll look cool.
Yeah.
Also, like, how cool could that explosion? Like, you know what I mean?
I think it could look pretty cool because you look at those like old like 60s test footage.
I know. You watch episode 8 of Twin Peaks: The Return.
Yeah. And now imagine it in IMAX.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about IMAX.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
what?
you want to go see Avatar
Yeah, sure.
2?
Oh, no. I haven't seen the first one. Yeah, I'll go see it.
All right.
I want to go to a 3D, like 120 frames per second bullshit
Tom,
thing, though.
if I'm going to go see that,
Yeah.
if I'm going to sit through 3 hours of that garbage movie or that garbage story that I'm being told, and I haven't seen Avatar 1.
I've heard that the story's actually, people said the story's good.
Okay. Well, probably not. But
I think
but we should do that at some point. Okay. Tomorrow, you free?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe we should.
All right. Now to hear about my dream.
I thought you were going to forget, and I was going to remind you. This is great.
I'll try and make it quick.
Who needs a producer for a show?
Tim,
we can run this thing
these
ourselves.
dreams are... I've been having wacky dreams all week. But this dream last
About
night...
death? I've been obsessed with
Oh,
death
really?
in my dreams.
No,
Jeez.
mine are
Yeah.
much more mundane, but super frustrating. I had a dream that I was at a Six Flags Great Adventure, leaving for the day. Oh, what was the other part?
Was the park closing?
The park was closing, I think. Maybe not. But
Amateur.
for some reason, this Six Flags ran on, you had to scan your ticket on the way out, too.
Mm-hmm.
And like a bunch of people are leaving. My ticket won't scan. And they're like, you have to step over here, sir. And then they take me into like, it looks like NASA Mission Control, where they're interrogating a bunch of people. They assign me a guy who's like, we know you've got a counterfeit ticket. It wouldn't scan. Tim, I was in there for 2 hours trying to explain to this guy that I didn't have a counterfeit ticket. And the tickets were only $5 too. And you know how like your phone doesn't work right in your dream?
Yeah.
So they should fix that on the next iPhone. Get it to work right in dreams.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you could have an app that staves off Freddy Krueger.
oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
Have that, not even an app, just like a built-in in the background. You know how it like uploads your pictures. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Have
Keep
it
Freddy
keep
away.
Freddy
Yeah.
away automatically. They'll do that in the next one. You know, that's how they get you to upgrade.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'll pay for it. I'm just that
It's well
afraid of
worth
Freddy.
it.
Yeah.
Hey, even if it keeps them away one time, that's money well spent. But also on top of that, it was like my phone was broken, so I had to use like a very old iPhone, and it was only on like 2G. And just I'm like, look, man, I can like pull up my Chase account and show you that I bought tickets. With that proven? He's like, I don't know, but yeah, it's worth a shot. I'm like trying forever. And like me and this guy, like I kind of like this guy, and it's like, I know you're just doing your job. I know it's not you. The guy was, he was, I think it was, what's the guy's name? Michael
Stipe?
No, Michael Mando, the guy who played Ignacio.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't him, but it was like somebody like him,
Yeah.
you know, where like sometimes it was him, sometimes it wasn't. that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like this guy. I knew he was just doing his job. And then like, finally he's like, look, man, all right. 2 hours I'm there. He's like, all right, I believe you. Let's go. You know, you can leave. And then some like egghead is like, no, our system never fails. If it said it was fake, it was fake. And I like go to beat him, and like Michael Mando's like holding me back. He's like, no, he's not worth it. He's not worth it. I'm like, it was a real ticket. I was so mad. And then I woke up just so mad with like nothing to do with that anger and like the frustration that I've wasted 2 hours, which I didn't.
No, you were asleep the whole time. Yeah. And even if it was in real time, you were asleep, you were getting rest.
I wasn't, though, because I was agitated the whole time. Like, I woke up not rested.
I hate those dreams where, like, you're trying to do a simple thing.
Yeah, and it just won't work.
Can't fucking do it.
Yeah. Unbelievable. They should fix that.
Fix the dreams already, Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Put in a good word with God to fix dreams. And get iPhones working in dreams.
Yeah. All right. See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.